Donald Trump has had to deal with the fact that already US service members have died in this war. Many civilians have died in a number of countries in the region. And a lot of people are worried that this could lead to not only more attacks on Americans in the region, but potentially attacks on Americans here. I mean, the idea that Iran had ICBMs that could reach America was a lie. They knew that when they said that, but you could potentially inspire some sort of terrorist attack. Should we be concerned about that? So he's asked that and he says, I guess, but I think they're worried about that all the time. We think about it all the time. We plan for it, but yeah, we expect some things. Like I said, some people will die. When you go to war, some people will die. It's reassuring from the president.
Yeah.
That many have already died and more will die. And he's like, yeah, whatever. It's madness to me that a president who's already wildly unpopular, that's his approach to American dead.
Yeah, I mean, if Biden or Obama had been that like flippant about American deaths. Yeah, some people die. Yeah, I did a war. Obviously, people are gonna die, so what?
Imagine if that was Biden's response to the little bit of the chaos as we're pulling out of Afghanistan.
Yeah, I think 4 people died there. It might be mistaken.
I remember 11, but regardless,
okay,
I'm sure Biden was solemn AF, and yet they still talked about it in Fox News for literally years.
Yeah. So, but if you talk about these 6 American dead, they're like, how dare you? So that's normal.
Yeah.
You're supposed to die for Israel. It's normal.
Stop being biased, Caitlin Collins. Get off my back about it. That's how they've actually approached it. But it actually gets kind of even worse because again, remember, this is not just fun and games, okay? People have already died, and the White House is memeing through it because they're very cool. Hello, fellow young people, we've got memes. So we can't actually play the videos because for some reason in the topsy-turvy world we live in, copyright law has higher standards for YouTube channels than it does for the White House. So we're just gonna have to show you images, I guess. Here's a GTA. And then, the wasted there, like they have in GTA.
Can I just pause there for a second?
Yeah.
Because remember, we started this war. This is how it started and how it's going, right? Started with we care so much about the Iranian people, those poor protesters.
So much. It's for them.
It's for them. I mean, we don't want war. And Israel doesn't want regime change and a puppet put into place. It's for the Iranian people. Now it's wasted. We wasted them. We murdered them, including the little girls. Wait, which one is it?
Yeah. And then images from a bunch of movies, Braveheart and Breaking Bad. And then Kylo Ren, all the heroes of their stories, I believe. And then, we blew up a ship. Of course, it was an unarmed ship and it was coming back from a training exercise. But let's pretend it's badass. And then at the end of the video, they play a throwback sound effect, which is from Mortal Kombat. It's flawless victory, which is funny because they're good at memes. Of course, they did murder more than 150 girls in a double tap strike on a school. It feels like the victory had a couple of flaws, maybe. Doesn't seem super pro-life to be celebrating about it. Like that's why I use the term masturbation. That's what they're doing here. It's just glorifying the use of military to kill people that we don't care about because they're not humans. It's so fun. And then we can like pretend that we care about democracy there. And then we just love killing them and we love blowing them up. It's the best. And so that's what they've got. If we die, some of you might die. If they die, it's so amazing. And that is how our military is approaching this. But it is a serious endeavor and it's also seriously expensive, by the way. We know that as of right now, the estimates put it at between 1 and 2, probably closer to $2 billion every day for this war. So again, no money for SNAP, no money for Medicaid, no money for pipelines, no money for infrastructure. Your bridges are collapsing, can't afford health insurance, no subsidies for the ACA. $2 billion a day to kill Iranian schoolgirls. And already Senate Republicans are considering putting together a request for potentially, let's see, $50 billion. And Mike Johnson doesn't know the exact number, but he says he'll pass a bill when it's appropriate and we get it right. And I know that I've done this job for a long time, but sometimes I still feel like a little bit naive and a little bit ignorant because it seems to me as a regular person that when you spend $1 trillion on your military each year, that should cover wars. Like if it doesn't cover wars, what exactly were we paying for with the $1 trillion? So we bought all these weapons, but not like to use them? Like that doesn't pay for using the boats. That doesn't pay for flying the planes. It's just for the planes to sit there, $1 trillion. And so $50 billion, and that'll cover us for maybe a month and a half. And then, of course, we need to restock the weapons. That could be expensive, especially if we need them rushed and everything. So it's just endless money out the door. But if AOC gets elected in 2028 and she starts talking about a Green New Deal, education funding, the news is gonna be covered with discussions of how are we gonna afford it, Cenk?
How are we gonna pay for that? But $2 billion a day, no problem. Anything for Israel. Now, guys, think about it. We already give them $4 billion a year. Biden gave him 21 billion in the middle of genocide. Then Trump gave him 13 billion more. And that sounds like a lot. And we've given them well over $300 billion lifetime, right? Ton of money. But we spent 8 trillion on the wars. The global war on terror was the global war on Israel's enemies. And so now, on top of the 34 billion extra we gave them in the middle of the genocide, now we're gonna give another 50 billion for this war, because that has no American interest. We're fighting it strictly for Israel, like zero American interest. They have no nukes, no nuclear facilities. Their missiles can't reach us, and we already just killed their regime. So there's like nothing for us, purely for Israel. But you can't ask the question. If it's, to John's point, if it's for Americans, you have to ask, you have to give us chart after chart after chart on how you're gonna pay for it. Give me the plans. The plans aren't good enough. It's gonna cost a nickel more. That's a cut from the poors, cut from the middle class, right? Israel wants a war. Don't. If anybody asks a question, they're anti-Semitic. And now the new thing is America hater. If you don't want endless war, you hate America, right? So that's their new talking point. Now, okay. Let's turn to, and how about the guys who are gonna die? When you say, we talked about how they don't care about the Iranian civilians that are dying, that's obvious, right? But they also don't care about our guys. You know who doesn't die in any of our wars? Rich people.
Yeah.
None of them sign up for the military. It's all poor and middle class. So none of the elites' kids are in the military. So they think cost free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost any real person their lives. Only the average American, which they have no respect for at all. So then you go to Laura Ingraham, which is kind of interesting. Now, in a twist here, she objected to the double tap on the school. Because normally, John's right. They're like, yeah, so what? We killed those little Iranian girls. Ha ha, they had it coming. In fact, guys, if you think I'm exaggerating, earlier in the week, I was in a debate on Piers Morgan and Matt Schlapp, one of the right wingers, when we were talking about those dead girls, he said they would have grown up in a burqa anyway. Like, oh my God. I mean, they have no bottom to that barrel. So I think what Laura Ingraham is doing by objecting to it is doing two things. One, I'll give her credit, right? Like, we've got to draw the line on the Israelification of America, because Israel bombs schools and hospitals over and over and over again, and they think killing civilians is no big deal. They have the worst civilian kill ratio in the world, worse than Hamas, worse than any terrorist group. They do double taps. The Voice of Hinrajab is an amazing movie. It's about that 6-year-old girl, and you hear her real voice throughout the entire movie. And what the Israelis did was they knew, they 100% definitive, there was a girl that was alive, there was a 6-year-old in that car, and they had gotten double permission for an ambulance to go pick her up. And the Israelis waited for the ambulance and killed everyone inside the ambulance and then murdered the 6-year-old girl. So if we become that's fascism. We full blown, not headed towards fascism.
We killed the girls, man. Has Hegseth apologized? Is Hegseth facing tough questions from Congress about the management of this war? Is he at risk of losing his job?
No, none of those things. But Laura Ingraham, again, I'm giving her way too much credit. It's just one tweet. But to me, the reason why I care about it is not to give her credit, but is a harbinger of things to come. So number one, she's drawing the line a little bit and going, we shouldn't become that, right? There's a lot of people now finally that are not hypocritical in the pro-life movement. And some of those voices are rising up and going, wait, we said we're in favor of protecting lives and kids, and so now we can't be in favor of this, right? And Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene have been actually pivotal in that. But the second thing is, I think Laura Ingraham, in all the things that we've covered already just on this show, is trying to go, get out, get out, get out. Stop doing this, enough, we can declare victory now. But if you keep going and we keep slaughtering innocent kids and you bring in ground troops, you're gonna destroy not just yourself, but the entire Republican Party.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.